All right, so based on February 2023 statistics from the Judiciary Annual Report for the 2021-2022 financial year, there were 253 judges in the superior courts, including the Constitutional Court, the Supreme Court of Appeal, and the High Courts and Specialist Courts in that year. So of that 253, approximately 113 were women, which roughly translates to about 45% of that total. So for more on representation of women in the judiciary, we're now joined by Seehaam Samaai from Women's Legal Centre. Seehaam, good morning. Thanks for your time on the SABC at this hour.
Thank you very much. I'm actually speaking on behalf of the South African women lawyers as the gender-based violence national coordinator.
Okay.
And so thank you very much for having me. So as we stand on shoulders like Judge Maya, Erin Geffen, and we're talking about Sissy Gore, we're talking about Desiree Finker. We were all pioneered women into the law, and we celebrate, obviously, centuries of progress. Yet, the milestone invites us not just to reflect, but also to question deeply, where are we? Because a century ago was a beacon of hope, signaling the beginning of a new era. But we also know that the journey has been uneven, with racial barriers persisting much longer and highlighting, for example, like Desiree Finker, its admission was only in 1967. So there is a historical backdrop that we need to be able to also place when we ask or, answer these questions. So even last year, we had all of these centennial sittings. However, although it was ceremonial, it was also restorative. And so the reality currently, still remains stark. Women, especially Black women, are unrepresented for leadership roles within broadly the legal profession. However, we do have the voices from the legal profession. And we are also waiting for the forthcoming study of the Institute of African Women in Law, who will highlight these challenges in detail and providing us with various actions as well as recommendations. But let's just say that voices from the profession, there isn't a lack of it. We have your Shamla Batois, we have your Homotso Morocco, we have our own Judge Maya, we have various judges that are sitting and strong women within the legal profession. But we need more than appointments. We need a culture shift. Yes. For example, what are we doing as a profession to address all of the issues? Because it's not just about appointments. It's about ensuring that we are creating an inclusive environment within the profession. So society in general and in the legal profession in particularly are not lacking in strong female role models. And we've seen it. However, what are we doing to be able to support these women within the broader profession? And the challenges faced by female lawyers are startling, because it's same throughout the region, in small law firms and in large law firms. The patriarchal nature of the profession, sexual harassment, the pressures created by multifaceted roles, like the care roles that women are obliged to take, caring for children, caring for parents, caring for extended families, which need to be recognized and properly acknowledged by law firms and workplaces. Gender stereotyping in practices, areas as well as the challenges in reaching in leadership and decision-making roles within law firms and in the structures of the organized profession. And so even at the IAWJ, conference, we have very competent and able women who are forced possibly out of the legal profession or even out of government because it does not take into account the care economy. And so there's a lot of representation when we discuss the representation of women, for example, in the judiciary, and looking at the numbers in itself. We see that while women make up approximately 45% of the judges in the superior courts, this figure alone does not reflect the entire picture.
Well,
that though
yeah.
we have made strides towards gender transformation,
Yes.
we still need to do a lot.
Seehaam, thank you
Yes.
for those opening
And it's
remarks.
not just about filling positions.
No,
Yes.
absolutely. And so you've spoken
Thank you.
about creating that inclusive society, representation as well. But, these positions that are afforded to women cannot just be ceremonial. And so speaking about that cultural shift, I mean, for this year, in about a month, we're going to see Chief Justice Samaai assume her position. And I wonder if you could speak to what her appointment is also going to be doing in terms of those strides that have been taken from your vantage point, at least.
I have to say that the appointment of Mandisa Maya as a Chief Justice has been inspirational, and it's a beacon of hope for many women in the legal fraternity. She not only shatters a significant glass ceiling, but also serves as a powerful symbol of what is possible for women in law. Her leadership style, her dedication to justice and advocacy for gender equality can help inspire a new generation of female legal professions to strive for and also attain leadership positions in the judiciary, but also broadly within government, within the broad legal profession. And so we need to be able to see, how do we support her? Because remember that the structural barriers and the societal challenges remains. The legal profession is still very much, sadly, patriarchal, with persistent issues like sexual harassment and gender stereotyping. And these multifaceted care roles that many women shoulder are often unrecognized and undervalued in our legal profession. And so these are barriers that we must collectively address, not just for us, but also for people like Judge Maya, also for people like Shamla Batoy, also for people, for example, our various secretary generals that sit on the various legal professions. Also Tuli Madensela. We have a range of women that have come from the legal profession, and they can speak about how we do need to be able to support and mentor and help these powerful women. And so we need to be able to see, because remember, these women are also going to be on an international in the international environment. And so we need to be able to turn our gaze internationally and to be able to say, what inspiring examples are there? Our own Judge Maya has been acknowledged by the IWJ, and without making up over 50% of the judiciary or even the legal profession, they have brought sensitivity and focus on humanity to their roles, positive impacting the justice delivery and policy reforms. Why? Women bring a very particular a structure to the legal profession. They are sensitive. They understand the socioeconomic challenges that face women. And also broadly our societies. They have the cultural sensitivity to be able to bring change and to be able to shift power and to ensure that our families and whatever happens within the criminal justice system or even the legal profession is restorative. It is retributive, but more importantly, it builds societies. And this is what women have brought to the profession, and we need to acknowledge it. This is what we have in our leadership.
I want to expand on that point, because now, given the intersectionality, given the patriarchy, white supremacy at large that we've seen institutionalized, perhaps also playing out in our contemporary reality, you've spoken about the necessary interventions that are needed, the support, the mentoring, perhaps also shifting our focus to a more global outlook. In reality, given what's at stake and what's happening, what does that look like for you? How do we enforce that?
Well, there are many. Like I said, a report will be. I am waiting for that particular report to be able to see what Africa is saying. However, let me just give a few points, not a lot, just 4.
Sure.
We need to educate and bring awareness. We must enhance our educational initiatives to ensure gender equality is embedded in the legal training and practice. We need to there needs to be policy reform. Advocate for policies that acknowledge and compensate the multifaceted roles of women in the law, as well as women judges, as well as women who is in government. And so mentorship and support establish, and it shouldn't see this as mentorship that women, for example, want special treatment. No, never have we asked for special treatment. We have asked for a legal profession that take into account our lived realities. And so what we need is programs to support women throughout their legal careers, especially those traditionally in the male-dominated field. And so many women have not been, for example, a Judge Maya. And I can just think about what she has to go through to be able to ensure that she represents, the women. And she has shattered, and she is going to be able to lead us forward. So we need to have strong women around her to be able to ensure that we can bring change in the legal profession. Then we need accountability and measurement. Implement mechanisms to regularly measure our progress in terms of gender equality in the legal profession. If I sat here today and you asked me this question in 2014 or even in 2010, we wouldn't have seen the trajectory in terms of women that have come in the profession, in government, in the judiciary, etc. The numbers are moving. We acknowledge that. But what we need is very strong support systems to ensure that those women do not leave the profession, do not leave government, and do not leave, the broader sector, because we need to be able to build. We are building. And those, in conclusion, I'm saying that we need to pledge today, not only to advocate, but we must act. Let us be the pioneers and the trailblazers embodying the change we wish to see. Our empathy, our kindness, our commitment to justice, and our collective action will shape a fairer legal landscape for all. And so I just wanted to say that for having our presence and our unwavering support, for example, by everyone in this journey, will actually bring true equality in law. And so I'm excited, but I am also not naive, because a lot needs to be done. And I am once again want to say, many things are happening today. It's a launch of the Bridget Mabandla School, for judges. We had the appointment of Judge Maya. We had so many important issues and activities during this month. However, let me also say that let us not just see August month as the time when we speak to women.
Absolutely.
We are here 365 days. This today is to be able to acknowledge those, that have come before us. Sisi Gool, Desiree Finker, all. I'm talking about Bridget Mabandla. I'm talking about all those Mandisa, soldiers that we stand on. And
Seehaam?
we need to be able to acknowledge that and move forward in a positive way. So
absolutely. I know that conversation continues, and there's so many more aspects to explore, but just in the interest of time, I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you for your time at this hour and for weighing in. 365 days, of course, is what women are advocating for. But as we shine a spotlight on women in the judiciary for this month of August, we're speaking to Seehaam Samaai, really just weighing in on the strides that have been taken. We're looking at representation at large, accountability, and calling for more measurement, more support within the judicial space. Thank you to Seehaam for weighing in on that matter.